They have not said it. That is where this starts, not with the declaration, not with the explicit acknowledgement that would make everything simpler. The avoidant who has claimed you has done so in the interior, in the quiet, unauthorized, below the level of conscious decision way that genuine attachment always forms in someone whose system was built to prevent exactly this. The claiming happened before the management protocol could intercept it, and it is visible, not in what they say, in the specific, consistent, particular to you quality of how they are, in the small behavioral signs that are easy to dismiss individually and genuinely difficult to dismiss when they are consistent across time and context. What claiming actually is. For someone securely attached, claiming aligns with expression. What is felt gets acknowledged, expressed, moved toward. The interior and the exterior track each other with reasonable consistency. The avoidance interior and exterior do not work this way. What is felt can be deep and specific and genuinely significant, while the exterior remains managed, qualified, carefully maintained at a level that does not fully reveal what is actually present underneath. Claiming, for the avoidant, is entirely an interior event. It is the nervous system registering someone as particular, as the specific person who bypassed the defense in the specific way that makes the ordinary management tools insufficient. Not a decision, a recognition, something discovered rather than chosen before the assessment protocol had time to evaluate and respond. The avoidant who has claimed you has not necessarily acted from that claiming. May not have fully acknowledged it to themselves, but the claiming is present, and its presence leaks into behavior in ways that are specific and consistent and different from how they engage with people who have not been claimed. The first sign, specific memory. Not memory of significant events, anyone retains those. The memory that reveals claiming is the memory of small things. The detail mentioned once in passing, the specific opinion held about something minor, the name of someone referenced briefly in a longer story. The small preference, the particular thing that produces genuine delight or discomfort, the incidental fact about your life that was not the point of the conversation it appeared in. These details are retained not through deliberate effort, but through the quality of attention that claiming produces. Attention that stores rather than filters, that keeps what it encounters intact rather than processing it into vague summary. When the avoidant references one of these small specific things, accurately, weeks or months after it was mentioned, it is evidence of the interior attention being given. The attention of someone for whom you are already significant enough that the ordinary details of your experience are worth keeping. The second sign, orientation without tracking. Something shifts when you are present. Not in the obvious, directed way that would be visible and therefore manageable. In the peripheral way, they know when you arrive, not with visible reaction. The avoidant manages visible reaction with practiced efficiency, but with a specific quality of environmental awareness that is different when you are present. Something in the system registers your presence before the conscious acknowledgement. They know where you are without appearing to look. Know when you have moved, when you have become occupied with someone else, when you have left, not with the visible monitoring of someone performing attention. With the specific, involuntary, below the level of performance awareness of someone whose system has registered you as significant and maintains that awareness automatically. Their humor becomes more particular around you, more specific, more aimed at exactly the place they know you occupy because they have been paying the kind of attention that produces that knowledge. These are small shifts. Individually explainable, collectively constituting a pattern. The third sign, protection without prompt. Claiming installs a protective instinct that operates without conscious decision. It appears in the quality of attention brought when you are navigating something difficult. Not performed listening, the complete nothing else is happening quality of someone for whom what you're saying actually matters. It appears in small advocacies. The willingness to say something on your behalf that they would not say for someone they have not claimed. Not in declarations, in the small moments where something needs to be said, and they say it before being asked. It appears in the things they share, sending something because they thought of you when they encountered it. The connection between the thing and you was immediate and automatic. The impulse to share arrived before the decision to share. That involuntary association is evidence of interior presence. You were already there in the background of ordinary life when the thing appeared. The fourth sign, return after distance. The avoidant creates distance. This is the defining pattern, and it happens with you as with everyone. The sign is not the distance. It is that they return, not always dramatically, often casually, with the deniable quality of someone who simply happens to be in contact again, but they come back after the quiet period, after the managed distance. And the returning matters because it reveals what the distance did not accomplish. The distance was supposed to allow the feelings to reduce, the specific person to become manageable, the system to return to equilibrium. With a claimed person, this does not happen in the expected way. The interior does not resolve during the distance. The specific person does not recede into vague history. The claiming persists through the distance, and so the avoidant returns. Because something was decided at a level the management protocol cannot fully override. The consistent pattern distance followed by return, distance followed by return is the clearest behavioral evidence of claiming available, not healthy, but honest. The fifth sign, a different version. You get something the managed presentation does not offer to everyone, not necessarily more overtly emotional, but different in the quality of realness. The performed, self-sufficient version is, around you, slightly less performed. They tell you things they have not told others, not necessarily the deepest content, but genuine things. Actual self-disclosure rather than the appearance of openness. They allow you to see moods they contain elsewhere, the tiredness that is usually invisible, the uncertainty that the self-sufficiency performance requires to stay hidden. They can be wrong around you. Genuinely wrong and genuinely acknowledging it, without the defensive maneuvering that ordinarily protects the invulnerability the self-sufficiency requires. These are not gifts consciously given. They are the natural consequence of walls that are slightly lower with someone the interior has claimed, not because the avoidant decided to be more open. Because the claiming makes the full management effortful in a way it is not with unclaimed people, what the signs mean and what they don't. Together, consistently present across time and context, particular to you, these signs constitute genuine evidence of claiming. The love is real, the interior attachment is genuine, you were not wrong about what was there, and claiming is not readiness. This distinction is not a small one. The avoidant has claimed you in their interior. That says nothing about whether they are doing the work that would allow the claiming to become something functional, something present in daily life rather than expressed only in small behavioral signs. Something that shows up in the ordinary moments rather than leaking out around the edges of a carefully maintained distance. The signs tell you one thing accurately, what is true in their interior. They tell you nothing about what they are doing with what is true, nothing about whether the work is happening. Nothing about whether the interior claiming will ever become the external presence that a relationship actually requires, the question that actually belongs to you. Knowing you have been claimed, holding that knowledge clearly and accurately, does not obligate a particular response. It removes the doubt about mutuality. The love was real on both sides. You were not alone in what you felt. Your perception was accurate. That restoration of accuracy is genuinely worth having. And your life, the actual present tense happening right now life that exists independently of what is or is not occurring in their interior, is also genuinely worth having. The claiming is theirs, the life is yours. What serves the life honestly without the softening that makes the answer more comfortable than true is the only question worth answering, and you already know what it is asking. The signs have been named. The distinction between claiming and readiness has been drawn. What remains worth adding is the part that is most honest and most useful, not more description of what the signs mean about their interior, but direct examination of what living in the knowledge of being claimed actually does to a person over time. The specific comfort that becomes a problem. Knowing you have been claimed feels like something solid to hold. And it is solid in the sense that it is real. The claiming is genuine. The interior attachment is not imagined. The perception was accurate. But solid things can become anchors as readily as they become foundations. And the knowledge of being claimed, held closely, returned to, used as the primary evidence for a particular hope, can quietly become the thing that prevents genuine forward motion rather than enabling it. Because the knowledge answers one question very well. Did they feel it? Yes, they did. The claiming is real. And it answers nothing about the question that actually determines the quality of your daily life. Are they capable of it? Those are different questions. The first is about the interior. The second is about the capacity to translate the interior into the sustained, present, shows up in ordinary moments reality that a relationship actually consists of. The knowledge of the claiming keeps the first question answered, keeps the answer warm and available and real, and can, without this being consciously chosen, function as a substitute for the honest engagement with the second question, which does not have a comfortable answer, which requires looking at behavior over time rather than at interior signs, which may ultimately produce an answer that the warmth of the first answer makes very difficult to accept. What happens when claimed becomes the story. There is a version of this that becomes a narrative. I have been claimed. The connection is real. They feel it even if they cannot yet express it. The interior is present even when the exterior is not. The bond exists beneath whatever the behavior suggests. This narrative is not false. Every part of it is accurate, and it can function as the story that makes the waiting feel like wisdom. That makes the continued orientation towards someone who is not currently available feel like honoring something real rather than deferring something necessary. The narrative of being claimed is particularly powerful because it is true. It is not a delusion that can be dismantled through honest examination. It is a real thing that can be returned to repeatedly as justification for a posture that may not be serving genuine forward motion. This is worth naming honestly. True things can still be used in ways that cost you something real. The claiming is real, and it is also not sufficient. Holding the claiming as the primary story, the central fact around which the relationship to this person is organized, keeps the orientation toward them as the organizing principle of your interior life. And the organizing principle of your interior life deserves to be something that is actually present, actually available, actually capable of meeting what you bring. The interior life that deserves the same quality of attention. The quality of attention brought to recognizing the signs of avoidant claiming is genuinely significant. The ability to read small behavioral signals accurately, to track patterns over time, to perceive what is present beneath the managed exterior, these are real capacities reflecting real perceptual intelligence. They have been directed in this context toward someone else's interior. What would it mean to bring that same quality of attention to your own? Not in service of understanding the dynamic better, not as a way of assessing your own attachment patterns in relation to the avoidant, toward your own interior as the primary subject, your own genuine experience of your own daily life, what is actually present in you right now, not the hoped for, not the worried about, not the avoidant related, the actual texture of your present experience. What genuinely interests you, what genuinely depletes you, what the quality of your days actually is when you are honest about it rather than aspirationally describing how it should be. That honest interior accounting is the foundation of the only thing that actually matters in this conversation. Genuine forward motion, not the performed version. Not the life that looks full while remaining fundamentally organized around the question of what the avoidant is carrying in their interior. The actual version, where the attention is actually here, where the investment is actually in what is present, where the days have genuine content that is yours rather than borrowed significance from someone else's claiming. The claiming they have not done. The avoidant has claimed you in their interior. The signs are real. Here is the thing worth sitting with honestly. They have not claimed you in your life, not in the daily, present, shows up when it matters sense, not in the consistent, behavioral, this is what choosing someone actually looks like sense. Not in the way that matters practically for the quality of your daily existence. The interior claiming is real. The life-level claiming has not happened, and the life-level claiming is the only kind that can be lived in. The interior claiming is information about what is present in them. It is not a relationship. It is not companionship. It is not someone who is actually there when the day has been difficult, or the news is good, or the ordinary Tuesday needs to be shared with someone who knows you. The gap between interior claiming and life-level claiming is the gap between a love that is real and a love that is available. And living in that gap, however real the interior claiming, however accurate the signs, however genuine the bond, is not the same as being actually accompanied. You deserve to be actually accompanied, not by someone who carries you in their interior while creating distance in their behavior, not by the small behavioral signs of an attachment that has not found its way to expression. Not by the warmth that leaks around the edges of a management protocol that is still, fundamentally, running, by someone who is actually there, what the signs are worth knowing. This has not been a useless conversation. Understanding the signs of interior claiming has genuine value. It removes the specific doubt that the avoidant dynamic reliably installs, the doubt about whether what you perceived was real, whether the connection was mutual, whether you were alone in what you felt. You were not alone. The claiming is real. The perception was accurate. The bond was genuine on both sides. That knowledge is worth having. It cleans something up. Allows the grief to be about real loss rather than about suspected delusion. Allows the love to be acknowledged as having been genuinely met, however inadequately expressed. These are real gifts that accurate understanding provides. And having received them, having the doubt removed and the perception restored and the mutuality acknowledged, the most honest thing available is to let the understanding do what it was always capable of doing. Free you, not free you to wait more patiently or hope more informed or interpret the signs with more sophistication. Free you from the organizing question. From the primary orientation toward their interior. From the life that is being held in some measure in suspension pending the resolution of something that only they can resolve. The claiming is real. You are also real. Your life, present, available, genuinely yours, is also real, and it deserves the quality of attention that has been going toward recognizing the signs in them. It deserves to be the primary subject, not eventually, now, in the specific, present, irreplaceable hours of today. That is the honest completion of everything the signs were worth knowing, not more evidence of what is present in their interior. The recognition that what is most worth attending to is present in yours, and has been waiting with genuine patience for exactly this. The claiming is real, that has been established thoroughly. What 1,000 more words can honestly offer is not more elaboration on the same territory, it is something simpler. You have been reading about the signs that someone carries you in their interior. You have been absorbing the psychological portrait of what claiming looks like, how it leaks into behavior, what it means about the bond, what it does and does not indicate about readiness. And somewhere in all of that reading, something worth noticing directly, you already knew, not from the framework, from your own perception. The specific memory they retained, the way orientation shifted when you entered, the protection that arrived without being requested, the different version of themselves they brought, you noticed these things before they had names. Your perception was operating accurately before the psychology was available to confirm it. That is worth sitting with. Not because it validates the hope that the claiming will eventually become something more, but because it is evidence of something genuine in you, a perceptual accuracy, a quality of attention, a capacity for reading what is real beneath what is presented. That is yours, and that exists independently of this relationship and this person. That capacity is significant. It is, in fact, one of the most valuable things a person can bring to intimate life, the ability to see clearly, to read beneath the surface, to know what is actually present rather than accepting the presentation as the complete truth. It has been directed for a significant period toward one person's interior, and here is the honest thing, that capacity is not being fully used. Not because it was wrong to bring it here, but because perceptual accuracy directed entirely toward someone else's interior over an extended period is perceptual accuracy that is not being brought to your own life, to your own genuine experience of your own days, to the honest assessment of what is actually serving you and what has quietly stopped serving you while continuing to feel familiar. The same quality of seeing that recognized the claiming in them, that noticed the small signs, tracked the patterns, read the behavioral evidence accurately, is available for honest self-examination. What does that seeing find when it turns toward you, not toward your attachment patterns in relation to them, toward your actual daily life, the quality of it, the genuine content of it? Whether it is actually full or performing fullness, whether the people in it are receiving the full quality of your attention or the remainder after the primary investment goes elsewhere, whether the work is genuinely engaged or going through motions, whether the forward motion is real or the appearance of forward motion maintained over an underlying stillness, these questions are not comfortable. They do not have flattering answers necessarily, but they are the honest questions that the quality of seeing you possess is capable of answering accurately, and answering them, actually, for yourself without the softening, is the most useful thing available right now, more useful than any further elaboration of the avoidance interior. More useful than more signs, more psychology, more sophisticated mapping of what is present in someone who has claimed you but not shown up for you. The claiming is real, the signs are accurate, the bond was genuine, and your life, present, available, happening in real time, is asking for the quality of attention you have been bringing elsewhere, not as a technique for anything. As the basic, honest, entirely available right now act of someone who sees clearly and is willing to turn that clarity toward the most important subject available, themselves, completely. That is the 1,000 words.